cool. Okay, we're going warp speed now.
What?
Stop points. I'm gonna make a big giant egg casserole with bacon and peppers for everybody. Or I guess egg souffle. I don't know. I'm not a chef. I'm not a cookist.
This is the story of Camilla. Never falter, never fail. It's not a sentimental story. It's not a sweet and sloppy tale. This is a story full of misery, of rotting hunger and despair. And if you listen for a moment, the boys and I will take you there. This is the story of Camilla. This is the story of Camilla.
Like her.
She used to live down in the city.
Brand new in the field,
Back when the
and
people
it's
shrank in
actually really
fear
hard to find seats.
Thanks.
from madmen tearing up the sidewalks, from widows drowning in their tears.
Where am I going? So I have a meeting with a CPA for HVIII Brand Goods stuff today. The desire is to get somebody that's local, somebody that I can actually jump in the car, go drive, and sit in front of. We handle a lot of things remotely. We're a very online company. We're from the internet, as I like to say. But when you're dealing with things like accounting, taxes, finance, there is something very nice about being able to physically sit down in front of somebody when you need to and both be looking at the same things. We're very well versed in technology, especially the technology surrounding online retailing. So I want a CPA, I want their office to be prepared to handle all that without me having to explain it to them, without having to handhold them through things like, logons for guest privileges or guest accounts for banking software, accounting software, all that kind of stuff. I want them to know that without me having to teach them. That's important, that they kind of be a 21st century CPA, so to speak. I'd imagine in order to survive nowadays you have to be, but that's the reason for sitting down and talking about a lot of that stuff. I like to be the least talented or the least intelligent or the weakest person in the room. Usually I don't have a lot of problems with that. But I like that. I like to be the least capable person in the room because that means there's a good chance I could learn something. And that also means that the level of competency I'm dealing with is probably going to be pretty high. In the morning, I will drink black coffee. That's almost exclusively what I'm going to drink. Once in a while, maybe flavor it up, but it's black coffee in the morning. If it's before noon, I'm drinking black coffee. However, once it becomes the afternoon, I'm not sure what transformation takes place, but if I drink coffee after 12 o'clock, it just becomes like the girliest, sweetest, creamiest, whatever in the world. I've had frappuccinos at that time of day, so I'm not sure what transformation happens there. Maybe there's a term for that. Maybe I'm some sort of girl coffee werewolf. So yesterday's trip to the CPA actually set off an avalanche of things that I felt like I needed to do. I wouldn't call it exactly panic, but it was certainly, it pushed the urgency level up, things I needed to do with the books for HVIII Brand Goods to get everything in order, make sure that we have ourselves organized, got our house in order. So that took up the rest of the day. So here we are an entire day later, and I'm going to continue talking about what I started talking about yesterday on the way there. You need to get help. If you're going to be a business owner, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you need to be able to ask for help. And that's not just asking the people around you, asking friends to help out. That means sometimes, most times, paying professionals, paying people that are good at what they do to do those things. Hiring a CPA to help get your tax picture together, to help compile your income statement, your cash flows, and everything, and turn that into the right documents to be able to file your taxes and stay compliant and not go to jail or pay big fines. That's a big deal. Things like we do with HVIII Brand Goods, design work, artwork. Matt and I, we dabble we can mess around. There's a couple of things you've seen, a few things that you've seen that we design ourselves from start to finish. But most of the work that you see on HVIII Brand Goods is done completely by professional artists or under the consultation, under the eye of professional artists that take our work and massage it into something that's much better. There comes a point where we know that our talents are not that. Our talents are not to design for an apparel line. So you rely on people that are good at things. That's a big mistake that I see a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in the fitness biz, make, is that they feel like they don't have very much capital, they don't have much money to work with. Wow, that was quite a move. That they don't have much to work with, so they try to penny pinch and they don't spend, and they try to do things on their own that they don't really have the qualifications to do. Now, that being said, you should get your hands into things that you don't know, and you should try to learn those things. You should learn some new skills. Doing this, going back to the design thing, being part of this company, owning this company, has made me better at design because I've had to think in those terms, and I've had to work. Yeah, I've had to work on those things. But when it comes to making something that is truly top-notch, I'm still not there, so I will ask for help. I'll go outside. But being an entrepreneur is a great way to learn things you never thought that you would learn. But I think the most important lesson you pick up is that there is talent in the world. There are more talented people than you. There are people that have put in the time and the experience, and oftentimes it's worth paying those people to do their work.
Deep amid this carnal chaos, there was a beacon, yeah, a light.
Yep.
A tavern pouring wine and whiskey, and empty souls into the night. Camilla worked bar in the tavern, owned by her dear old blind papa. Her beauty pushing back the hellfire.
So, day 3 of trying to explain this single point. When you hire people to do good work and you use other people's talents, beyond just it being a best practice for you, it also feels pretty good, especially for professions like artists, designers, people like that, because, look, let's be honest, work is hard to come by in those professions sometimes. For creative people, work is tough to come by. You really have to sell yourself well. And being able to give to those professions, not give, that's not the right word, but being able to employ people in those professions to let them do their job, that feels good, because usually as an entrepreneur, you've been on the other side of that coin. You've had to deal with that before. You've had to be the person begging for work.
Of the city's mournful songs.
Hey Evan, if someone wanted to hire you to draw snails every day, how much would you charge them per snail?
I don't know really. Maybe if I draw snails for someone.
Mm-hmm. Like if someone said, hey, I want you to make a bunch of cards for me and each one has to have a snail on it that you draw. How much would you charge for each snail you drew?
Like $5.
$5 a snail? I think that's a really good rate. I'll give you $2.50 per snail.